This video will be foot eval, and then I'll do palpation and then foot tests, and then I'll do ankle tests in a second video, and I'll just do a palpation once. For foot palpation, we have the first MTP joint, and then slide down the middle medial side, and you have navicular, and then you have the talar head. So do eversion and inversion. You can pinch the heads and find it of the talus, and then you have the tibial crest, which is this flat part of the shin, and then your tibia, and then your medial malleolus, lateral malleolus, your fibula along with your fibular shaft, and then the fibular head up here in the knee, and then your calcaneus, your heel bone down here, and then your calcaneal bursas, pinching in between the medial and lateral malleoluses and the Achilles tendon on both sides, and then that's where your calcaneal bursas are, and then your Achilles tendon, and then styloid of the fifth on the lateral side, and the sinus tarsi right here in the groove, and then ATFL, PTFL, and ATFL, CTFL, or CFL and PTFL, and then the perineal muscles come around and hook around the lateral malleolus. And then for tests, we have a windlass, or the supple pes planus test. Go ahead and pause it. Sitting down, he has his medial arch on both sides, and then go ahead and stand up. His arch is still there, so the test would be negative. Go ahead and stand on your toes, and then he'd be negative for plantar fasciitis. And then the next test is interdigital neuroma test. Squeeze the metatarsal heads together. There's no pain with that. You have any pain? Okay. So it's negative for neuroma. And then I will roll them together. That would be pause, and then if that also hurt, that would be positive for neuroma. And then the thumb index finger squeeze. Go ahead and splay your toes out, and then I'll pinch in between the heads, and if that hurts, if there's pain between metatarsal heads, that's also an indicator of neuroma. Tinel's test is, go ahead and flex your foot. Actually, no, this is wrong one. Tinel's test, we'll evert it, and then we'll tap the medial aspect of the ankle. Right here in this divot where the nerve is, and the posterior tibial nerve, and if there's pain or tingling, that would be an indicator of tarsal tunnel, but there's none, so we're good. And then long bone compression test. So kind of just pressure, applying compression along the axis of the bone would be a sign of a fracture. Torque test, applying, go ahead and pause it. For torque test, add a planar to dorsal force. So on the planar side and dorsal side, see if there's any pain that's indicating a fracture at the side of the pain. And then tap test, go ahead and flex your foot, and then make sure flex your toes, make sure they're strong. And then you go ahead and tap on the top. If there's any increased pain, that's an indicator of a fracture of the metatarsals or phalanges. And then bump and percussion test is where you bump go ahead and scoot this way. Bumping the heel with the heel of my hand, go ahead and flex, I'll hold it up, and then bumping the bottom of the heel. If there's any pain with that, that's also an indicator of fracture at the site of pain.